packs used to be synonymous with Call of Duty. If a game was dropping, you know you'd get 4 DLC packs throughout the year to hold you out as you played. The old system for DLC felt more game friendly and made the money we as players spent felt more worth it. A new game might be dropping at the end of the year, but at least I didn't spend $20 on some skin. Nowadays, the new maps added to the games are tied to seasons and only come out whenever the devs feel like it. I miss the old ways, the good old days. So in efforts to keep tugging at those nostalgic heartstrings, let's look back at one of Call of Duty's best games to be released and all of its DLCs, Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 was released on November 13th, 2012, mere weeks before the end of the world. Through this game's lifespan, we would see 4 map packs as well as various other downloadable content for players to purchase. These 4 packs, known as Revolution, Uprising, Apocalypse, and Vengeance, would cost 1,200 Microsoft points or $15 and would also be bundled in the first ever season pass, priced at about $50. Each DLC at base would hold 4 multiplayer maps as well as 1 zombies map, just like Black Ops 1 before it, but some DLC would come with bonus rewards, and we will get to that when we get to it. Revolution was the first DLC pack for Black Ops 2 and held the multiplayer maps Hydro, Downhill, Grind, and Mirage, as well as the zombies map Die Rise, and would be released to Xbox players on January 29th, 2013, and would be released to PlayStation players on February 28th. This game, along with all other early Call of Duties, were partnered with Xbox and gave them a full month of exclusivity with the DLCs. I had an Xbox, so this never really bothered me. That being said, this DLC did not only come with maps. This DLC also gave players access to the turn game mode on Transit Diner, and as well as the first ever DLC weapons to grace Call of Duty fans. The beginning of the end, the Peacekeeper. This was a wild day for Call of Duty at the time, crazy considering how DLC weapons would change as the game grew older, but whether you like it or not, the gun was here to stay, and I thought it was very fun to use. This gun was a submachine assault rifle hybrid. Pair that up with this looking and sounding great, the Peacekeeper surely made a grand entrance. But let's get to the maps. Up first, we have the map Hydro. This map takes place on top of a hydroelectric dam inside of Pakistan. Players can find cover behind various pipes and barrels. The typical industrial Call of Duty map we come to expect. Hydro highlights Treyarch's love of symmetry. I mean, you can cut this map down the middle and it will mirror perfectly. But that's not all. Down the very center of this map holds a spillway. Clear and low waters run through this canal, all matched, but be careful. At the halfway point, a huge gush of water will travel down and will kill everything in its path. Treyarch is never afraid to add dynamics to their maps that can hinder or help the player. Black Ops 1 held destroyable bridges and operational doors and elevators, so a dam having some running water fits well. Next for Revolution was the map Downhill. Take a trip to this luxurious ski resort located in the Alps. Snow, rocks, and more snow. It's not a Treyarch DLC without at least 1 snow map. Downhill was an okay map, 3 lanes like all maps were at one point, with 2 gondolas in the center of the match, each going to its own direction. Players could use these gondolas as they see fit. This map was a sniper's dream, holding all kinds of lines of sights for people to camp in, making this map somewhat forgettable for me. But I mean, how did you feel about this map? Let's talk in the comments. And while we're talking about that, I do want to thank you all for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. I know it's not the greatest milestone, but it's something I didn't really think I'd get to, and I'm happy to be making these videos. But anyways, back to the DLC. After Downhill, we got the map Grind. This map is most likely the most known map from Black Ops 2, more known than a lot of the base maps, more known than some of the zombies maps. This whole map could have introduced Black Ops 6 at E3 and we would have all been okay with it. Is E3 still a thing? Grind is set inside of a skate park in Venice, California. Most of the map consists of the skate park itself. Large ramps and tunnels perfect for skateboarding create the lanes and choke points for this map. In the middle, we see the main building for the park, counters and plenty of sports gear littered all around, and outside we have the parking lot and bathrooms for the park. This map was and still is pretty damn awesome. I mean, how cool of a setting to gun enemies down and watch their bodies do a sick kickflip. The middle building was perfect for run and gun strategies, but sniping was still optional if you felt the need. Shotguns reigned king on this map, and it really catered to all gunmen. Grind holds its place as my favorite map from this DLC and was surely no miss. But the last map we see for Revolution was Mirage. Taking place at a luxury resort in the Gobi Desert, you would think it would be similar to Downhill, but unlucky for anyone needing a vacation, we happen to be here after a rather large sandstorm has made its way through. This idea alone makes the map unique, and I remember plenty of fun matches cowering away in the sand dunes as hunter-killer drones rained down on me. The large building in the middle gave no additional safety, being almost as open as outside. Snipers ruled this map solely due to its open and long lines of sights, but outside of that, Mirage stands as a very fun addition and helped round out a very solid first DLC for Black Ops 2. Oh, wait a minute, the zombies map. Almost forgot. Now look, I like Die Rise. I think it's very fun and challenging and unique in its layout. The location is cool, and I mean this liquefier. Come on, it's a slip gun on a skyscraper map. What more can I say? Well, it's more like a knee scraper now, but I can understand why people disliked it. It is annoying to say the least. A lot of setup just to have jugs in a stupid corner on the rooftop, and now it's all ruined. In the end, I'd still take Die Rise over what we have now, and I wrote this script before Black Ops 6, so anything I talk negatively about zombies, it's not pertaining to Black Ops 6. I enjoy that game. The second DLC for Black Ops 2 Uprising would drop April 16th, 2013 for Xbox, and May 16th for everyone else. This DLC held the multiplayer maps Vertigo, Encore, Magma, and a remake of the popular Black Ops 1 map Firing Range, promptly named Studio. And lastly, players would receive the zombies map Mob of the Dead. Now, every multiplayer map could be Nuketown in a different font, and this DLC would still be the best in the game, just from this map alone. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. First map we take a look at is Vertigo, and boy does this name hit the nail. Vertigo is located on top of a tall skyscraper in downtown Mumbai. This map is almost exclusively outside, so kill streaks reign supreme, making it a tryhard's wet dream. Traverse around air vents and other rooftoppery, as this map just makes me want to play High Rise more than anything itself. It was an okay map that mostly blended in with Black Ops 2's gray color palette, and it was just another map that all I can really remember from it is people cowering, wanting kill streaks. The second map, Encore, brings us to a raving music festival in London. The layout of this map felt vastly different than most maps in the game. Players found themselves mostly on the outskirts of the stage and could even sneak under the stage for some hidden plays. Just felt weird to give us a big stadium like this and keep us limited to the ground level. The lack of verticality made this map a run and gun empire, with assault rifles being hard to contest. Holding corners and peaks was your best option to get ahead. I can remember a lot of my friends not favoring this map, though it did look real nice. Next in line for the second DLC for Black Ops 2 was the map Magma. Now this was a cool map. Magma takes place in a futuristic Japanese city that has been abandoned due to a nearby volcanic eruption. No map in this DLC stands out like Magma does. Pouring onto the ground from off the map, Magma covers a portion of this map, dealing damage to any player if they happen to step in it. This map held many angles and levels of verticality to make the flow seem very fun. Whether you were fighting near the mountainside or along the sleek monorail or even down the main street, the action was always hot. Last on our list for Uprising, we have the map Studio, a wonderful remake of Black Ops 1's Firing Range. Having the same layout, just instead of an old shooting range, Studio takes you to a backlot film studio in Hollywood. Firing Range will always be a favorite map of mine, but Studio truly did its predecessor justice. Each piece of the map mimics different types of movies throughout pop culture, from medieval and Wild West to pirates and aliens. This map has tons of movie references, as well as other Treyarch references. In fact, inside of one of the trailers, we can find various weapons from multiplayer and zombies mode alike. This map also hinted the Ray Gun Mark II to players, before anybody even knew. But that concludes our multiplayer maps, and all we have left is Mob of the Dead. After the troubling start to zombies for this game, with Transit and Die Rise seeming like not the most favorite from zombies fans, a lot of people were questioning if this DLC was going to give us a good map or not. And man, were we surprised. Mob of the Dead takes you to Alcatraz Island. Inside of the infamous prison, this beautiful map takes you through the story of 4 mobsters trying to escape this messed up time loop that they got themselves trapped in. I'm not going to spoil anything. You should really experience it yourself, so if you haven't already, go ahead and go do that. But that concludes Uprising. Some hit or miss maps for sure, but Mob of the Dead. Vengeance was released on July 2nd for Xbox players and August 1st for PlayStation and PC, one day before my birthday. With Vengeance, players would receive the multiplayer maps Cove, Rush, Detour, and Uplink. And Uplink is another remake of a popular Black Ops 1 map. This time it's Summit. With these 4 maps, players would also receive the zombies map Buried. And also with the purchase of this DLC, you would gain access to the Ray Gun Mark II on all zombie maps, similar to how Mule Kick was integrated into all maps once purchased Resurrection on Black Ops 1. First up is Cove. This is a small map of a plane crash located on some desolate islands in the ocean. Most of the action was located in the center of the map. Tight corners and spaces made shotguns and SMGs a huge threat, but the outskirts of the maps made it still possible for snipers or LMGs to get some action in. The plane and its shat cargo are really the only things going on in this island, and it really is just a simple map. I don't know whether to like it or not, really. It's just an island. Next, we see the map Rush. Rush takes place mostly at a paintball shop with an attached speedball course. This map is very similar to Grind in style. The pop of color really makes it stand out over the rest of the maps on this DLC. This map boasted tight spaces and lots of close quarter combat. The main paintball arena is just a centerpiece, as most of the map is outside in administrative buildings or inside the shop connected to the arena. Though same idea, this map layout is very different from Grind though. I can't help but confuse the two sometimes. Next up, we have Detour. And I wish they would have taken a detour when making this map. This map takes players to some bridge in New York. What bridge? Well, the map description reads, battle on top of and through the belly of this ambushed future bridge. Future bridge? Future bridge. It doesn't get any better the more you say it. This map felt more frustrating than it should have been. I felt like COD has a history of making god-awful road maps. Like any map that's just a road with some destruction and cars, awful. Never do it again, hang it up. Lastly, for the multiplayer maps, we get Uplink. Now, Uplink is textbook how not to remake a map. I mean, it's just de-skinned Summit. No snow, but all the buildings look and feel exactly the same. I mean, the gondola is just a crate hanging now. Hanging from a crane, like, it's the future, damn it. You could have flipped this map on its head, just kept the layout, players would have loved it. I mean, it's still good. Summit was and still is an S-tier map, but be like Studio, be like Hazard. If you don't know the layout of Summit, well, I'm sorry. Lastly, the zombies map featured was Buried, taking place in an old western town transported through time and shoved underneath an old excavation factory. This map is just so nice to look at. Even underneath in some cave, it just looks awesome. The old western town just fits in so nice with the cave's decor, and at every turn there was something to do on this map. But that being said, Vengeance was still a solid DLC and really held up to the standards of the DLC packs that Treyarch had been releasing. They really had the formula tight, and I need to stop and say that I just prefer this style so much more. 4 maps all at once, no waiting, no randomness. It truly felt like an event to get these maps. And now it's just another thing to theme some shop bundle around. I'm gonna stop complaining, I promise. The last DLC for Black Ops 2 is really a doozy, and possibly the best DLC on this game. I know I hyped up Mob of the Dead, but I wanted to tease you. Apocalypse was released for Xbox players on August 27th, 2013. This is just 26 days after PlayStation got the last DLC. But it came out on September 26th for these PC and PlayStation players. The new COD was right around the corner and they had no time to spare with releasing this DLC. The featured maps were Pod, Frost, Dig, and Takeoff. Thinking about it, they didn't really have much individuality when naming these maps. Like, what if they did that with old maps? Containers, Street, Crash. Wait a minute. This DLC also contained the zombies map Origins, but we will get there. Coming up first is Pod. A failed utopian community from the 70s has left stacks of dilapidated residential pods nestled into an abandoned cliffside in Taiwan. Pod is mostly close quarters with mini pods spread about the map for cover and tactical maneuvering. The name is simple, but that does not take away from the fun this map can have. The circular pods add a fun curvature to the map, making sharp corners a thing of the past. The old abandoned feel to this map also gives a great atmosphere while playing. I truly love overgrown residential maps. I don't know what it is. After Pod, we see the map Frost. This map takes place inside a small commercial district in Amsterdam. During winter, of course, you need that snow, but I guess it is needed for the features of this map. Down the middle, we see a frozen over canal. The bridge covering the canal connects the 2 sides of the map, but players could still sneak over to the other sides using the frozen river. The map had a nice appeal with small shops dotted along the districts, and I like any map with a dock harbor feel to it, you know? And the frozen water really did work well with traversing the map. I can't harp it too much for being just another snow map. The third map for Apocalypse was Dig. It really feels like these maps are representing the different elements. You know, we have like foliage and overgrownness first, and then it's ice, and now a desert. I mean, what's next? Fire? Water? It's probably water, isn't it? Dig is a map of a dig site in Logdar, Afghanistan. And this is a remake of the map Courtyard from World at War. It does well to capture the open layout of the map Courtyard and gave it a fresh new setting. Though, why does this map make me think of COD Ghost? Back during these times, the remade maps really felt special, like us fans were being listened to in what maps we liked, and time was taken to upgrade the map without tarnishing the old map's image, for the most part. These remakes weren't used as the main idea for each and every DLC like they do now. And that stands to show with our last map, Takeoff, a remake of the Black Ops 1 map Stadium that I didn't even realize until I put these 2 mini-maps together. It's almost unrecognizable, but as soon as you start gunning the map, it all feels too familiar. The change the setting from stadium to open water launch port changes the idea of the original map so much, and it's really fun to run the gamut to see what's familiar or not with this map. It is such a solid DLC map that I can't hate on. But that wraps up the multiplayer maps for Black Ops 2's DLC season, and I feel like it would be hard to top these 16 maps. The diversity from each and the overall uniqueness shows over and over again when looking through these maps. I personally wouldn't put this game over Black Ops 1, but we aren't done with the maps yet. Last Lastly, for Apocalypse, we got the Zombies map Origins, a map that took the fans by surprise. The old crew was back and seemingly better than ever, but they were different. We would have to play to learn more. Being set in old trenches and bunkers on a French battleground, the giant robots overhead, the feel and overall story of this map could not have been made any better. There's a reason this map is mostly #1 on people's list. Each and every developer on Black Ops 2 team at the time gave it their all for this year of Call of Duty. From the DLCs themselves to marketing and appeal, their heart was in it and we were spoiled.
Oh, by the way, did I mention the giant robots?
I look at it now and almost feel bad. I'd take this old style of DLC back any day over the state of game we have now. But there you all go. That's it for Black Ops 2 and its DLCs. I think it delivered very fun and memorable multiplayer maps and some of the best zombie maps to this date. And that's a hard battle. But what DLC did you like the best? Let me know in the comments. I thank you all for watching this video and I hope to see you in the next one. Also, I'm very glad to be back. I've taken a long hiatus, though I have gained some new followers, and I'm happy to have you all there. Keep looking out for more content on the Ricto channel. Thanks for watching.